This will be fun. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our show. We're live again.
Hey, it's good to be here.
All the episodes, that's what I start out with every show is, hey, we're live, everyone.
Yes, we are.
Best part of the show, some people are saying. Okay, here's my cold open. You know that term, right?
Yeah.
Cold open today is, have you seen some keto success but stopped losing weight, lost all your motivation? Then you don't want to miss this episode.
You don't want to miss it. So you're talking about people like they started out strong, but then they plateaued. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, so it can fall into a couple of camps. Sometimes people start out strong, meaning, and then they don't lose any weight at all, and they can't figure out what they're doing wrong. But it also could be that you've seen some initial lots of weight loss, you get really excited, but then things stop moving on the scale and you start to pull your hair out with frustration. So that's what this episode is all about.
Okay.
Hello to our Keto Chat Lifestyle Facebook group. People that are watching us, feel free to chime in. Let us know you're here. I can see that we have a couple people watching, but I don't know who it is until you comment. So please, this show is interactive and we love our viewers and our live watchers and anyone else who's listening in the future too. So
we don't know who it is.
We'll see. It's a mystery. And welcome, whoever it is. And well, let's just get this show started officially then. Welcome to Keto Chat Live, the podcast. I am your host, Carol Freeman. And, I got lots of credentials and 6 figures in student loans to prove it. I don't want to bore you with all that, but I've got my amazing co-host. I'm trying to figure out, so it's reversed and it never works. If I imagine you're over there, we go. I just have to remember you're that fan that's right there. My amazing co-host, who's a fabulous comedian right now in the Seattle area, Simon Kaufman. Welcome, everybody.
And I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan of
You're a fan?
Carol.
Oh, there's Simon right there, my fan. Yes.
The 6-figure student loan woman. Like the $6 million man. You're the 6-figure student loan woman.
Oh, God, that's a great joke concept. I'm going to write that down.
You're welcome. Right? Remember that show? Those $6 million.
Absolutely, I love that. 80s. Can you make the noises?
That would be nothing. Remember when $6 million mattered? Now $6 million,
right?
Like the backup quarterback on a football team makes that, or like the worst relief pitcher in baseball makes $6 million a year. Remember when $1 million mattered?
So let's put this in context. So how much was that phallic-shaped spaceship that Bezos just launched? How much did he spend on that? Are the numbers out? Probably $6 trillion?
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's not cheap. You can't stop off your supplies. You can't stop off at the Winco to get supplies. You got to make sure you bring everything when you're going. Is he landing on the moon or he's just going up in space and coming back?
I think they said he was pretending to go to the moon. So it's just going up in space and then coming back. So
pretending is in like a fake moon landing?
Ooh, I don't know. I'm sure there's some all I saw was all the videos making fun of the shape of the rocket ship. I haven't seen any proof that he actually made it to the moon. So I don't know.
Listen. I don't know, man.
Welcome our YouTube people too. Welcome YouTube people. Give us a comment. Let us know you're here. We love you watching us live and in the future.
I don't know if the shape matters. You just wanted to be able to go up and come back, right?
Yes.
I think that'd be most important.
Mission accomplished, right? So
I think that's
Mr.
cool.
Simon,
I would do it. Would you do it?
Oh, no, I don't think I would.
You wouldn't go to space if you could?
Nah.
What if we could have a chance to film Keto Chat live in space, and beyond? Bringing ketogenic lifestyle to other universes and galaxies. No?
That is not an effect that I'm using, folks. That's Simon with his talented voice right there making all of those noises. If
dropping the beats.
I know our goal is to take the show on the road, and you're right. The ultimate destination is going to be the comedy club on the moon. So
Keto, you know what? Keto has not been before.
Who books that show? Who books that?
Bringing keto to other realms and galaxies. Fuck it, let's do it. Oh, was that?
Yeah.
That was my one swear word, I think, right?
Yep, we get one per show. There you go. Speaking of that, speaking of not getting canceled, do you want to throw out the medical disclaimer just so we make sure that we're not trying to heal any of those? So I know Martians live on Mars. What people live on the moon? Is that mice that eat cheese? Is that, I don't know.
Moonshins.
Moon who?
Moonshins. Martians, moonshins. You didn't know that? No, I don't know. I made that up.
Moonshins. Okay. All right. Susan's here from Chicago. Love the scruff, Keto Kaufman. Oh,
thank you.
We got the first flirt comment of the show.
Susan, whoa. Let me tell you, I will grow my hair out for you.
The scruff's going on. I don't want to spoil the surprise and tell her that you're at home with your mom.
Well, maybe people that live on the moon are Moonies. Remember Moonies?
Okay.
Do you remember the Moonies? I think that was a cult, right? From Reverend Moon.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I wish we had.
There was a Reverend Moon back in back to the 80s, since we're talking about the 1980s. I think in the 80s there was that famous Reverend Moon cult, and his followers were Moonies, and he would marry people off.
We've got where's our fact checker at? So we usually on the show we have our fact checker.
Yeah, we have a fact checker, just not a fact checker. No,
Nancy's always the. Okay, I believe you.
By the FBI, I think it was, and but yeah, he was embezzling money. Typical cult.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, medical disclaimer, so we don't.
Oh yeah, medical disclaimer. The Keto Chat Live is not a cult. We will not be marrying you off to anybody. We will not be embezzling your money. However, if you'd like to make a donation, you can. This show is meant for educational entertainment purposes only. It is not medical advice nor intended to diagnose, treat, cure any condition. If you have any medical condition, illness, disease, or are taking any medications, please talk to your doctor. And this medical disclaimer only matters on planet Earth. When we go to Mars and to the other realms of the universe, we will not be bound by earthling laws. We will not be bound by Earth laws in space.
That's so great.
Right?
I didn't think I wanted to go to the moon, and now I do because there wouldn't be any rules. It'd be like lawless land. We could help all the people be healthy.
Oh, yeah. There's less liability in the stars.
Right.
People don't think of that.
Welcome to our viewers. Chime in and cheer us on like Susan has. So let us know you're here. We love that you're here. I got one more question for you. So all of you watching right now, listening in the future on the moon, what's the longest period of time that you've been able to stick with keto before you gave up because you lost your motivation? I know that Susan's had a long streak here. She's doing really well. Susan in Chicago. So she probably won't, whatever her current keto stat day is going to be her answer. But
a lot of people will tell you like you're not supposed to be on it for that long. You've heard that, right? People will be like, "Oh, you're only supposed to be on it for a little bit of time, and then you're supposed to get off it, whatever."
Yes. As a board-certified keto nutrition specialist, I hear a lot of the myths and things like that of people that aren't trained in this to understand how it works. So, yeah, I mean, this episode is going to be about what to do when the scale stops going down. A whole other topic though is the people out there they're saying like, well, you shouldn't try to be on ketosis anyways. And to clarify, the goal of a keto diet for weight loss is not actually to be in ketosis all of the time anyways. It's using a ketogenic style of eating to achieve our health and weight loss goals. And so the goal is not to be in ketosis. That's a medical therapeutic keto diet. And so just to clarify,
really,
this podcast is about using a keto diet to lose weight and maintain healthy body weight and health of all kinds. This podcast is not about how to achieve blood ketones and maintain that indefinitely.
Really? Wait, hold on. Time out.
Okay.
You're saying the point of the keto.
Yeah.
the point of the keto diet is you're not supposed to stay in ketosis the whole time?
Well, it's the false goal that people have. So the reason that people follow a keto diet for weight loss is for weight loss.
Okay.
And their goal is to have, I've worked with women for 6 years now, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. And I know their goals. Their goals are to have more energy. Their goals are to fit back into their clothes, have good memory, get rid of brain fog, be free of pain in their body, be able to be active and do all the things that they want to do, keep up with their kids and their grandchildren, be able to change diapers as frequently as they want to in their lives, be active and just be free of health issues that start to crop up as well. So those are all the general categories of why people are following a keto diet in the first place. Not one of those is I want my ketones to be 1.5 every single day of my life.
Okay.
Those things they're not necessarily related. So the number of ketones that you have does not directly correlate to all those health benefits and all the real reasons why people want to do it. So that's why your ketone number doesn't matter, and trying to precisely be in a certain number of ketones indefinitely is not the goal of a ketogenic diet.
Okay.
Yeah. And so for, a medical application, right? So if somebody's doing keto for, let's say God forbid, they've got brain cancer, they have epilepsy, they have, Parkinson's or other chronic illness that they're treating with a ketogenic diet. Those people aren't trying to lose weight. They're not trying to lose body mass. They're trying to maintain ketosis for therapeutic reasons. So they are very different. And so our podcast has been focused on helping people that are otherwise healthy. They're not doing ketosis for medical reasons. They're doing it because they want to optimize their body composition and their health.
Okay. And you were saying that like when people have like fat in the liver, first when you go into ketosis or whatever, it burns that first, right? Before it burns your fat.
Well, it's burning fat, but it reverses the fat that's been deposited in your organs. So one of the places that it does that, it's the most efficient at reversing fatty liver disease, which basically is if you've been consuming too much food, too many calories for too long, just the same way that you can get foie gras from foie gras. I'm not French, I can't say it. From overfeeding a duck, then the same thing happens to humans. We can overfeed ourselves and create this fatty liver. And so very quickly that reverses on keto. And, there's research studies out there that show that you do the same type of calorie amount and you get more of the fat that comes out of the internal organs in the body first, greater than just following like calorie restriction in general. So.
Okay. So how do you know it's fatty liver disease? Like if you just have fat in your liver, is that a disease or is it only when it starts to really like get bad?
Fat in your liver would be considered a disease. That is not the normal place that there should be fat. And, so some of the signs of that are going to be elevated liver enzymes. Typically, if your doctor is going to confirm that diagnosis, then they'll send you for an ultrasound, which can kind of look at the composition of what the tissue is in the liver. Ultimate diagnosis comes from a liver biopsy, but most of the time that's not going to be something the doctors are going to actually order because that's totally invasive. They've got to put you out and stick a needle through your liver. But typically it's going to, most of the time it's by just looking at the liver enzymes being elevated. And then sometimes doctors will go the next step and actually do an ultrasound to look at the actual composition of the liver.
So if someone's like, "Oh, hey, girl, you got a fat liver," that's not good. That's not something. That's not what you want.
There's no Brazilian. What the BBL? What's that stand for? Brazilian butt lift. There's no Brazilian liver lift. There's no BBL. Hey, girl, your liver looking thick. Yeah. Your liver thick. Maybe back in like what were the Renaissance women the photos back when like it was considered sexy to be
fed.
Affluent. Yeah, like, well fed. Yes.
She eats meals. Wow, that's hot. I want a woman that eats 3 times a week. Put on like a peasant that just eats.
What was the time period of that art that's kind of Renaissance, like a Renaissance woman. I think there's
Renaissance woman.
There's another name for it. So welcome live viewers. Okay, so Susan here sharing. I do notice after a year on keto, my ketones tend to be lower, around 0.6 to 0.5. That's absolutely true, and I'm guessing you're probably close to maintaining your weight. I don't know if you're at your goal weight or maintaining your weight loss, but there's a couple of reasons for that. One is that, you know, ketones come from burning fat, and if we're maintaining our weight, we're actually burning less fat than we were when we were in weight loss mode, fat loss specifically. And so to achieve high levels of ketones on a medical therapeutic diet, that's where like very high intake of fat needs to come from, so that the body is creating ketones from these other exogenous sources of fat. Also, our body adapts to that state. So this is part of, you know, Simon's original question about how like, oh, those people out there say that you shouldn't be on a keto diet for a long time. Well, our body actually adapts to that. And your long-term, like Susan's noticing, is that your ketone levels are actually very low long-term. It's because your body's just adapted to the fact that it's making ketones, but it's also burning as many as you're making. And so you're not going to be able to detect very many in your blood. When we look at the Inuit population, so interestingly, she's Amber O'Hearn, she's presented at several of the conferences that I've been to, and she's looked at like ancestral, primarily carnivore eating, and she's done some research on the Inuits, which the keto people like to say that like, oh, the Inuit prove high fat diet is sustainable and healthy. Native Alaskan population that were able to eat a very, very, very high fat diet, and they were very healthy. And so I was at a conference where Amber was presenting this information showing that they actually took blood samples of Inuit way back in the day, before I was born even, and they found that they had trace amounts of ketones. They actually were not in a high level of ketosis. And so they were eating this very, very high fat diet, almost no carbs, yet they had trace to no ketones in their blood. And this is just evidence of what we're seeing is that, long-term in ketosis, you're not going to have a lot of ketones in the blood. It's just your body adapts to this state, and it's not producing lots of ketones. So that's also part of why, having high levels of ketones in your blood is not actually the goal of a ketogenic diet or keto for health and weight loss. And so I like to use the term keto and or low carb, right? So we're following low carb, restricting carbs to the level that creates optimal health for our own body. So yes, so just as Susan's showing is that it's pretty normal and standard. And we see that your ketone levels are not high and elevated for the long term. So that's part of why you've got these people out there, Simon, that are saying like, oh, it's really bad for you. You shouldn't stay at long term, but they don't even know the physiology of what's
They don't even know.
They don't even know. They don't know.
What do they know?
I don't know.
What do they know?
What do they know?
We know. They don't know. We know. You want to know? You listen to us. Subscribe to the show. We know. All right.
You know what's fun is that I found a really fun article for our show today.
Okay.
So before we get to our core topic of what to do when the scale stops moving, hey everyone, you want to know what Kourtney Kardashian's doing? No, I don't. Thanks for asking. What's she doing? Walking her poodle? Like, who cares? Can you do a Kourtney accent? Can you do impression?
I don't know. I would not be able to pick. I would not be able to pick Kourtney Kardashian out of a lineup of 6 people. Like if you lined up 6 people and said which ones, they all had a number, and I had to pick which one's Kourtney Kardashian, I couldn't tell you.
All right. All right.
I'm proud of that fact.
Who's watching us right now and knows who Kourtney Kardashian is? Can you do that?
I've heard the name. You can't not hear the name, but I don't know who she is. I don't know what she looks like. I'm assuming she looks like the other one, Kim, that marries people and makes them go crazy. You know that one?
I think she looks more like of the 3 sisters. She looks more like the brother. Not that she's ugly. They're all beautiful ladies.
Which is the one that made Lamar Odom turn into a crackhead? Which one was that?
That's Chloe.
That's Chloe?
Allegedly.
Okay.
Allegedly. We don't want to.
Allegedly what?
Allegedly turn into a crackhead or whatever you said.
Well, he did OD in a whorehouse in somewhere, right? Didn't he?
I mean,
he had a heart attack or something, or deed. What? I forget what it was. Something like
it's
that.
The woman's fault, and he's not taking responsibility for that. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, everyone that dates them ends up turning into like something.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like
famous.
like Date with the Devil.
Well, so you're not a fan of the Kardashians, I know. So
Kourtney, no, I don't know enough about them. I don't know enough about them except for just to stay away, or you're going to end up smoking crack in whorehouses. Which I mean, I'm not opposed to, but I'm just saying, like, not too much. I don't want to do it too much.
I'm sure your mom would approve of you not dating the Kardashians. So,
yeah, she'd be like, "Oh."
Is mom still in the room? I want to know if she knows who the Kardashians are. No.
No.
I want to know. I was hoping we'd have a third, podcast voice on today's show, which was Simon's mom. We'll have to have her come back for another episode. But okay, so this article I found is the website is Eat This, Not That. And the article is Kourtney Kardashian reveals the exact keto meals she eats to lose weight.
Oh.
Are you excited? You guys ready for this?
I'm ready. What's up? What's the meals?
Who's ready? I want we haven't got any reaction. We have thumbs up, a heart, a laugh. That's my fuel. I need all those things. Okay, so Kourtney
Cheers of the working class, or what does she eat?
Mm-hmm. The article starts out by saying that Kourtney has tried practically every diet under the sun, probably like everyone listening here, and from strictly a vegan diet to juicing. However, in a story reposted to Poosh, I don't know what this is, but Poosh, Poosh, like they didn't know how to spell posh, or maybe posh.com was taken, so they went with Poosh. As of June 7th, Kourtney is back on a keto diet again. So basically it's trying to imply that like all the other ones didn't work, so she's coming back to this for her weight loss plan. So ultra low carb plan. Are you ready to hear what she eats? So
let's see.
They go through
for breakfast. I have one tiny wafer, and then that holds me till dinner. And then I eat a leaf. I eat one leaf.
Dude, keep going, because this is like exactly what it says.
Is it really?
What do you think she has for dinner? Kind of like you're exaggerating it, but it's perfect.
I just look in the mirror and take selfies. I'm a breatharian. I just live off the breath of the air.
Yes. I live off your likes and your hearts. So that's it. All right, folks. That Simon already knows what Kourtney eats.
No, really, was that right?
Pretty close. Okay, so for her first meal of the day, she sips. She doesn't gulp or drink. She sips an avocado smoothie made out of avocado, 1 cup of organic plant-based milk, and 1 scoop of vanilla protein powder, and a 1/4 teaspoon of MCT oil.
Wait, this chick's thin as hell. What's she trying to lose weight for? I'm looking at this photo. She's thin. She's not overweight.
Yes. How do you think she maintains that 80 pounds?
I could see my liver protruding. I realized I needed to lose weight.
And the article says that while typically that smoothie would have honey in it, when she's on keto, she just puts a couple of drops of stevia in it.
Oh, okay.
And bone broth and blue-green algae. So kind of some pseudo healthy things that don't really matter. For lunch, she has a leaf, like you said. She has a salad. And she says for midday, she typically enjoys a salad. My go-to lunch is usually a protein-based chef salad with turkey, mixed greens, and egg whites. Yeah. So as I'm describing these meals, I want everyone to kind of take some mental notes about what do you hear about what she's eating. And And then number 3, she eats, quotes, a really clean and simple dinner. And so for that, it's chicken or salmon on some broccoli or cauliflower rice.
With Jell-O pudding and a donut when no one's looking. And then when no one's looking, I eat a donut and then cry myself to sleep.
And then number 4, she says she doesn't snack.
Nope.
And when Kourtney's adhering to a keto diet, she typically doesn't snack at all, opting for bone broth or green tea when she needs some extra energy.
Okay.
So, I mean, maybe so she's really hungry and she's trying to not eat. And then number 5, she practices intermittent fasting. And so this meant not eating for 14 to 16 hours after dinner. Okay, so that's kind of like a normal, like this is part of, we talked about this in a past episode, like part of why this intermittent fasting thing kind of drives me nuts is like not eating for 16 to 14 hours. So that's kind of normal. Okay, that's just like kind of, even if you ate 3 meals a day, you sleep for 8, add in, 3 hours on either side of that. And that's kind of a normal thing. So, so she's having her first meal around 10:30 and then, stops eating at, 7 p.m. That's kind of just a normal, I don't know how that's intermittent fasting, but anyways, it's just a trendy name or phrase. They tried to catch all of the catchwords and SEO optimization in this article. So if I look at the things that are underlined, those are the keywords that they're trying to get searched for. So I'll just say I'm here because we do the same thing in our blog post: diet, vegan diet, keto diet, low carb plan. Bachelor. For more insights on your favorite star's slim down, check out Bachelor star Catherine Gaducci. Did you know, Simon? Here's a little Seattle gossip: is that the current Bachelorette dated Andrew Rivers, a Seattle comedian.
Okay.
Are you bored yet?
Like, what do you mean dated? Like they went on a one date, or like?
I think they went. So there's an article out there
you
can
pay
find
for it in auction, or how'd that work? Like, what was the? Or like they were boyfriend, girlfriend. What's the?
Yeah, I think it was a few dates. The article that I read said that it never went farther than a dinner or something like that. But they're good friends to this day. So,
he never gave her the rose or what have you on that show. What do they do? They give a rose.
Oh, he was not on the show. She's been on the show after they dated. But
yeah, but you could have still given her the rose. Maybe you should have done that. Maybe that's the problem.
Maybe that's why she's still single and he is too. So, Andrew Rivers, if you're listening, give a lady a rose once in a while. That might help you out there. So, anyways, what I noticed about her pattern of what she's eating is it's very, very low fat. So it's basically, some, it's keto minus the fat, which is a very effective way of losing weight, losing fat very quickly, but it also is not as tasty or enjoyable. Part of why it says she doesn't snack, but she drinks bone broth and tea is that she's going to be pretty hungry on that protocol. Anybody who's tried that. And that's part of why, a lot of people starting a keto diet enjoy it because it's so tasty and satisfying because it's much higher in fat. So yes, that approach would be very, very effective for losing a lot of weight very quickly. But it's not going to be a way of eating that you're going to be able to maintain for very long. And so that's why I expect that it says that she's back on this plan, because that way of eating is not something, that's probably about 600 or 800 calories a day is what she's describing there. Most people aren't going to be able to sustain that for very long. So,
all right.
So you came really close. The leaf for
But she has staff that can hold her up when she's like, I'm really tired. Wants to fall over.
Or hold her back when she's trying to raid the fridge or something, right? So
I guess. Okay, well, that was really cool.
Hey, we're covering all the hard-hitting news topics here on Keto Chat Live, everyone. So glad you're here. Glad you're here. We've got a couple people I can see on the YouTubes. That's one of them, Susan, I think. So somebody else is there too. I'm waiting for our Sue from UK, Butterfly Sue, to drop in again. So, shall we move on?
Wait till Kourtney starts becoming a fan.
I know.
We can help
Andrew Rivers, Kourtney Kardashian. Yeah. We can help. We can help. There was no liver fat shaming at all. It was support and love.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Okay, so.
All right, is everybody riveted, ready for our topic of the show?
Everybody riveted and ready?
Rosie the Riveter?
Rosie the Ready Riveter?
The Keto Riveter? Okay. Ooh. We're on top of our game today, aren't we?
I feel like it. I feel on fire. Okay. So,
all right.
boom, let's go.
Oh, you know what we forgot to do?
What?
I went right onto the news segment and I forgot to do a personal check-in.
Oh,
what's the news in your life, Simon?
Who cares?
Who cares?
No, I mean things are good. Things are good. It's nice and sunny in Seattle. I'm on the road. I got shows Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm going to be touring, so that'll be fun. And go see the country.
Don't forget the big news.
People and
don't forget the big news. Milestone in your life today.
Oh, yeah, big milestone. That's right. I had a big milestone today. I changed my very first child's diaper. I was babysitting my niece, and she defecated in the diaper, and I changed my very first diaper ever in my entire life. I was trying to hold out, and it's been 43 years. I was trying not to ever have to change. It was actually really easy. Like, it wasn't messy at all. Like, it was cool, you know? And then, so it was fine. And then,
knowing her, she probably was coaching you along the whole time. Like
she was, yeah. She showed me. I was like, "So where's the diaper? Where do you keep the wipes or whatever?" She's like, "Right here." And changed my first diaper, and I feel very mature. I feel like I'm grown up. I feel like it was a rite of passage in my life.
Yes.
You know.
There's different things that people mark as like, okay, now I feel like an adult. I think for me, it was when I spent $35 on a prime rib for a holiday meal one time. And I was just like, all right, that makes me an adult.
Yeah. Totally.
Right. Congrats on changing your diaper. Like,
thanks.
It's just probably like going to unlock a whole bunch of personal transformation from here on out, I'm guessing. So
you think?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Today I am a man.
Yes.
No, but that's pretty good to go 43 years without having, I mean, like, how annoying is that to all the parents out there that, like, I was able to do that?
I mean, it'd be more annoying if you had 5 children and you're saying this. This is the first time you change a diaper, but knowing you don't have any children, like, that's probably good.
Maybe I do. I don't answer unmarked numbers, so maybe they're trying to contact me, and I just don't know. So okay.
Well, for me, thanks for asking. Just came off of a weekend of shows on the Todd Royce and Friends tour, and for those of you who don't know, he's a big TikTok star, pretty new comedian. His backstory is that for 18 years, he was a pro wrestler, and he turned to comedy before the pandemic. And over the pandemic, when we all couldn't leave our homes, he ended up getting kind of TikTok famous and has close to 700,000 followers on there, and decided to try to turn this into a touring headliner type of thing. And so this last weekend, he had a show at one of the big clubs down here at Stir Crazy in Glendale, Arizona. And so I told him, hey, I think you should connect with this other club that I love. And the owner there, Dave, is like super supportive of all the local comedians. The shows there are always really killer. And so we did a second show there as well. And of the two, like, I got to say, like, the Improv Mania one in Chandler, Arizona was a killer show. The audience was on fire, and it was spectacular. So it was a really fun weekend. The other comedians on the show were all from Seattle as well. And actually a couple of them were here local. And everyone had a great time. The audience loved it. And it was just fun to see Todd with all of his fans. And I got one new TikTok follower myself, so I'm kind of on fire right now. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Nice. That's
Big
really
deal.
good. You can help get information to the Chinese Communist Party through TikTok. Really good. They need all your help.
Oh my gosh. Simon, I got to ask you this. So I was outside selling merch with the boys. They all had their t-shirts and stuff. And I don't have a t-shirt yet that I'm working on it though, but I don't have any merch to sell. So for those of you that are not comedians, merch means like if you've ever been to a comedy show and the comedians are standing out there afterwards and selling you some crappy little t-shirt or something that, you know, if you loved them, you buy it to support them, but usually it's not something because you're like, oh my God, this is the best design thing ever. I don't have any merch yet. And so I was just standing out there with the guys, thanking everybody for coming to the show. And, you know, one of the girls that was there with her boyfriend, she bought something from everybody. And then she says, here, I got a tip for you. She literally gave me cash because she's like, I want to support you too. You were hilarious and funny. You don't have anything to sell. So like, here's cash. Have you ever got a cash tip before?
Yeah.
At a comedy show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually when you tip a woman that doesn't have a shirt, it's usually at a different type of club, but.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't offer to. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. I've gotten tips before.
Have you ever had merch? I've never seen you have merch.
I do. I need to break it out. What is it?
What's your slogan or catchphrase?
Yeah, I have shirts. I
just say Simon Kaufman the best.
I also have little bracelets.
Simon Kaufman, the best comedian ever. Is that what it says?
Ever.
In all caps. EVAR.
No, it just says the word ever.
Okay. No? You don't know what your merch says?
Keto Chat Live merch. Why not?
Eventually, that would be cool.
Especially when we get the space, people are going to want to buy that.
I found another, as I'm going back and editing old episodes, I keep finding our catchphrases. So, you know, one of them is help us grow, we'll help you shrink. I found another one. If it's not keto, we veto. That's another one.
That's good. That's good.
So, yeah. So we've got some potential catchphrases we could use for our t-shirts and merch eventually. So, all right.
All right.
Okay. On to the topic, finally. All right. So what do you do? You've been so diligent in your keto approach. You're doing everything perfect and right. You're eating all these keto foods, and maybe you lost some weight originally from the beginning, got really excited about that. But then, dun, 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 the scale stops moving. You stop losing weight. Your number one motivator for even doing this keto thing in the first place fails you. What do?
You buy a new scale. That doesn't work.
Right? Then you go on all the Facebook groups and you're like, I'm going to try to figure this out. What do I do? You post your question. You get 100 different opinions about what to do next. You watch more YouTube videos. You buy more books. You listen to our podcast. And then you're like, forget it. You give up. You realize that, or you rationalize that, well, why am I working so hard? What's the point? If I'm not losing any weight, why do I even want to do this keto thing, right? So
exactly. Then you get arrested in a road rage incident just because you aren't losing weight. You drive your car through the center line. You know, we've been there. Oh my gosh. We've all been there.
Please see the medical disclaimer at the beginning of the show for purely entertainment purposes.
Just on a drug-fueled car rampage because you stall out. Well, we're here to help.
You read more of the Poosh website. I gotta look up that website now. Poosh. Looking for the Kardashians' diets. What are they doing? I'm not good at impressions. I need to try that more. So, okay. The truth is, first off, that it actually is really, really normal on a weight loss journey that the scale does not go down exactly the same amount every week. So we want to start there. Let's normalize the expectations of the scale. And so unless you have not seen a change on the scale going down in 3 or more weeks, you actually haven't hit a stall. So sometimes people give up with the first week that they see the scale doesn't go down, then they're like, forget it. It's not working. So you've got to normalize what you can see on the scale. And sometimes it's also normal to see the scale increase 1 week over another. Some of my clients that want to weigh every single day. And so what I tell them is that you are only allowed to do that if you can detach your personal value, your worth from that number on the scale. The same as if you were looking at the temperature outside. right? So we all know that between winter and summer, well, it's the other way around. Winter and, I did the other way around. My hands are backwards. Between winter and summer, well, because I'm trying to go temperature-wise, okay? So winter, the temperatures are low.
Okay. Clear, just places.
This is backwards, so then it's, okay. Winter, the temperatures are really, really low. In summer, the temperatures get really hot. We know that every year that happens. But if you look at the individual temperature every single day between winter and summer, it's going to go up and down and up and down and up and down. Some temperatures are going to be lower and some are going to be higher.
Sure.
And maybe it went from 60 to 64 and then went down to 58 one day. And nobody gives up and goes like, oh, well, I guess it's never going to get to summer. The temperatures are never going to get hot. It went down again. So I guess it's going to be winter forever. That's kind of the way that we look at the scale. We expect it to just go up. So if you look at the temperatures going from winter to summer, it doesn't just go straight up to summer. It changes like this, right? That's normal, the temperature change. Same thing with the scale. Very, very normal as you're losing weight, that it kind of looks the same way. Up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. And sometimes it's going to go up and sometimes it's going to go down. And sometimes it stays the same for a while. And that's normal. But we've been told that you should lose 1 to 2 pounds every single week. The body does not work that way. So let go of that. If you're somebody that's having trouble with getting frustrated with seeing the scale go up and down and not straight down, even staying the same for weeks at a time, put your scale away. Jimmy Moore always says that the scale is a lying liar that lies. It's not showing your whole picture of progress. So that can be one piece of that. It's just kind of normalizing what to expect on the scale. So if you actually have seen that you've been doing everything correct and you've not lost any weight in 3 weeks or longer, that is actually going to be a stall, and it might be time to change things up. And another thing that we want to know is that you all want to know is that you can gain weight even when your carbs are low. So if you're overeating, if you're over-consuming total calories more than your body's burning, especially if you're over-consuming fat, you will gain weight. You can gain weight. You can stop yourself from losing weight by over-consuming as well.
So life is basically just a cold, miserable winter. Is that what I'm understanding from you? All existence is miserable winter. No?
It's never going to get to summer. Actually, I thought the trend actually was we're all stuck in summer forever. Isn't that the current trend? That's why we're going to the moon?
I don't know.
That's not why you're going to the moon. We're going to the moon for new frontiers.
To spread ketogenic to the moonies.
The moonies. Do they moon people?
No.
Or is that only on the dark side of the moon?
No, you got to look into Reverend Moon, man. He's a trip. He's a trip. He was a spiritual guru. I want to say he was Korean, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
And he got pretty famous. And they took him down, like they do with.
Oh, you're right. He's Sun Myung Moon. Okay, I'll look him up. He had 16 children. All right. Okay, this is a good. I got to find out.
Oh yeah, dude, he's a trip. Reverend Moon, man. He's as far as like cults go, he was hardcore. He would marry people off that didn't know each other. Like he would come up and he'd be like, "Hey, Carol, you're gonna marry Frank," and you'd be like, "Thank you, Reverend. You're all-knowing wisdom guru for picking my husband." And then like 2 weeks with Frank, you're like, "Are you sure you're an all-knowing wisdom guru? Because Frank sucks."
He lived to be 92 years old. How old do you think he was before he changed his first diaper?
I don't know.
I bet he was like 93. I bet he never changed a diaper.
Change is like a diaper. No? Okay.
Gotta work on that one.
So you're saying don't worry so much about the weight loss. Don't worry so much about what the scale says.
Well, actually, I'm saying like make sure it's actually a stall before you need to change something.
Okay.
So, yeah. So let's wait weeks of not going down, then I'm going to give you some more recommendations of what to do next. So
okay, so first you got to stick it out.
Yep.
And don't freak out.
Yeah. And, realize that overeating fat will lead to weight gain. You got to come to terms with that, because a lot of people out there over the last 5 years of keto have said, like, fat's a free food, eat as much as you want. But that is not true. Also, we need to recognize that for long-term success, we need to eat in a way that minimizes our triggers for appetite and cues that cause us to overeating. So I'm going to give you a little bit more specific recommendations here in a moment, but that's just kind of one of the things to keep in mind, is that a lot of times what happens for people is that they figure out keto, how to eat, and then they quickly go to these recipes and desserts. And those are very, very tasty. Those are cues to cause us to overeat, and you absolutely can stop your weight loss and even begin to gain weight if you're eating in that way.
Keto
and
cookies,
then for some,
keto lemon bars. Yeah.
Yes. Speaking of that, I plan to go to the keto kitchen confections today out in Chandler. So we'll see if
well, look at you bragging.
Occasional weight loss halters. Not the halter top, but anyways, yeah.
No.
And so, and then for some people, they need to address a very, very slow metabolic rate. And so some people are not overeating, they're not over-consuming fat, but due to chronically being on diets, chronically restricting their calorie intake, like if you did the Kourtney Kardashian keto diet, if you did that indefinitely, you're going to slow down your metabolism so it won't burn very many calories. So sometimes people actually have to do something called reverse dieting to speed their metabolism up. So
reverse dieting.
Complex.
That sounds
it's
fun.
Very complex.
What's like right? Reverse? Is that what they just call a buffet?
Yes. Strategic buffeting is reverse dieting.
Yeah.
So all right, so let's get into my specific recommendations. Okay, so first of all, you've made sure that it's 3 weeks or longer that you haven't seen the scale go down. My number one recommendation for all of you that are not my clients is that you're going to do what we call go back to basics. Okay, so that's go back and listen to episodes 1 through 10 of our Keto Chat Live podcast. That's where I go through the 10 rules to follow to get the best results. So go make sure you're following all those 10 rules. That's always your first point. Your first reset is, okay, I am stalled. Let's go follow all the 10 rules that Carol outlines. Typically, that is enough for people to start to lose weight again. Shall I review those really quickly? 20 total grams of carbs. Make sure you're having adequate protein. You're not having too much fat. You're getting adequate salt every day. You're actually weighing, measuring, and tracking all of your food, because if you're not actually weighing it, you have no idea what you're doing. Another one is no sweeteners for at least first 30 days. Avoiding all alcohol, again, for at least 30 days. Rule number 8 is keep the meals really, really simple. So that's also no recipes. And rule number 9 is no nuts or seeds. And then rule number 10 is you're avoiding things that are actually causing your craving. So that's back to basics, as you're following all of those. Let me go back to my outline here. So that's going to be your next step. Okay, so first step, am I really stalled? Yes, I am. Next step is back to basics. Am I following all 10 of those rules? And if you're following all 10 of those rules, stick with those for another 2 weeks. Most people are going to see the scale start to come down at that point. Then part of this equation as well is you're going to have to dive in and find more reasons than just the scale that's going to keep you motivated long term. So I call this having a really big why. What are the reasons why you want to do this? So like I mentioned before, a lot of my clients, they want more energy. They want mental clarity. They want to avoid medical issues that the rest of their family had. They want to fit into their clothes that they love. They want to feel confident. They want to be freed from pain and joint aches and all that kind of stuff, right? So buckle up and identify your why and really stay in touch with that and notice how those things are improving as well. Could be like watching your liver enzymes come down to a normal level. It could be watching your diabetes numbers come down to regular numbers, your blood pressure, coming off of medications for some of my clients as well. And so track all of those things. So it's not just the scale. You have like 10 different things you're watching that show that you're making progress.
Nice.
Then if you've been following all 10 rules, typically that's going to take you to a certain place. And then after that, your next step then is going to be, can we find some fats that you're eating that you wouldn't miss? So one of the first places to look is reduce the amount of fat you put to your liquids. So this is going to be things like bulletproof coffee. It's going to be things like lots and lots of cream in your coffee. It could be like coconut oil and other things you're having, like bone broth or something like that. Where is it that you could reduce the amount of fat that you're adding to your liquids, your meals, that you're not going to miss it? So that would be a first place to look. Often as well, increasing protein is kind of a magic bullet in helping people lose more weight. So back 5-6 years ago, everybody was afraid of protein on keto. We're starting to see this nice trend of things turning around where a lot of the keto gurus, including me, I'm calling myself a guru here. I didn't marry off people and have 16 children, not like Dr. Moon, but yeah, I got to work harder to get to that status. But he lived to 92, so I got some time left. I've got 42 years left to get there. So
maybe we need to do some arranged ketogenic Keto Chat Live marriages to really get people excited. You think?
I could get ordained and start marrying people.
Yeah. Well, this is a good idea.
It's a good idea. All right. Let us know if you think this is a good idea. We want to know if our listeners agree. We've already got them on board with us traveling the country and bring the show.
Husband or wife, let us know.
Yeah. All right. So increasing protein is a trend that we're seeing. It actually increases metabolic rate. It actually does not affect your rate of weight loss. And I've found over and over again with my clients that bumping up their protein, I typically take them up 20 grams per day at a time, will get that scale moving again. So contrary to a lot of what you'll see online, you can't get too much protein, and actually more protein typically will help people lose weight faster.
Okay.
The next place to look is going to be reducing your eating frequency. So this means like no snacks. So one of the things I agree with Kourtney on is avoiding snacks. And, can you reduce the number of times you're eating per day? That may mean that you have a shorter window. It might mean that you have bigger gaps between when you do eat, but no snacks and just manipulating how many times a day you're eating. Nobody needs to be eating 6 times a day. And then finally, if you're somebody who, if you're chronically eating, 1,200 or less calories per day, let's say you're doing all these things right that I've talked about, you're following all 10 rules, you're tracking every morsel that goes in your mouth, and you notice that you're only eating 1,200 calories a day or less and not losing weight for months and months at a time, then that's likely a sign that your metabolic rate is so slow that you're not going to be able to lose weight. We don't want you to reduce your intake more because that's just going to slow it further. So what you'll want to do is actually a very strategic reverse dieting. And this takes time. It takes dedication. A good friend of mine, Kim Howerton, was on my Keto Chat interviews recently where we went through how she did that over a year's time. So for 4 years, she didn't lose any weight, eating only 1,100 calories a day. But over a year of reverse dieting, she was able to actually take off another 30 pounds in a year's time. So, yeah. So it's very, very strategic. Yeah. But she discovered that her metabolism was so slow, it was very comfortable not burning any more calories. So it was about actually strategically increasing your calories very slowly over time so that she could go back into a weight loss phase. So, So that's, that's why it's so complex. Why people,
that's why we have you.
It's 6 years of blood, sweat, and tears that I put into literally all those things, like blood for the ketone pricks, the tears, we don't want to talk about that, but the sweat, well, I just moved to Arizona, so it's sweat all the time. But this is, my life and what I've studied, and so I'm happy to bring it all to you. So,
yes.
All right, what questions? Bring on the questions now.
Why are you so awesome?
Aww. Susan in Chicago sharing that I've been decreasing my fat, increasing my protein. I feel amazing. Great.
Nice.
She's here every week as an example of great keto success. Glad you're here, Susan.
Here's a question. How do you know you're done losing weight? Like maybe somebody is just at their height weight proportion and they shouldn't be losing it. And that's why they're plateauing, because their body's like, this is it.
So,
bro.
So good. This is a great point. And I didn't even put it in my notes, but this is perfect.
That's why you have
a lot of times yes. This is why we see, like the Kardashians and these body, Sports Illustrated models and things like that women feel like they want to see a six pack in their abdominals. And most women, like genetically, we're not made that way. And you're so right. So it's more often this happens in women, but it happens in men as well. And so we see these media photos, these Photoshop things, whatever we're seeing pictures of people on now. And we see this body expectation that we think is realistic, and it's actually not. And so for women, for example, our body fat percentage is healthiest between 22 to 29%. And most of those Sports Illustrated bikini models you're seeing are at 18 or 15% body fat for a woman. So they're at a body fat percentage. And all of us have seen and heard those stories about how the models are always starving themselves and with an eating disorder and things like that, because they're trying to maintain a body fat percentage that's below what's actually healthy. So you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
And not reasonable.
You're right. So some people have an expectation just from media that their body's going to do something different than what's actually healthy. So you're right. That could be, if your body fat percentage is in that healthy range for a woman, it's going to be really hard to get to the lower end of that and below. So I'm so glad you asked that, because for my clients, I'm going to look at several things. One, I'm going to have them get a DEXA body analysis scan, which actually shows how much fat they have, how much muscle, how much bone. And we're going to be able to get a better picture of what's a realistic amount of fat your body would healthfully lose. Also, I'm going to look at lab markers as well to see insulin and, inflammation markers and liver enzymes and all that kind of stuff. We're going to look at all those things, and we're going to see, are you healthy on the inside as well? That's going to tell us another piece of the puzzle. So yes. It's much more complicated than that number on the scale. And I use multiple measures of not only subjectively, how are they feeling, but then also, objective lab measurements and body measurements and fat percentages and things like that to actually help guide them to what to expect.
Yeah.
So we got Simon here to ask a hard-hitting questions that I forgot to include, but that's perfect. That's so great.
I used to date this girl. She was super health conscious. I mean, I love her to pieces. She was great. We were friends since childhood, but I used to always mess with her because we'd go out, we'd get a bagel for breakfast, right? Well, first of all, she would wake up at 5 a.m. and go run for 4 miles. I would wake up at 10 and she'd already done the laundry, done everything. I'm like, hey, what's up? And then we'd go get a bagel. And then later at dinner, I'd be like, hey, let's go get some dinner. Or, let me cook some dinner. What do you want for dinner? And she'd be like, oh, I had a bagel earlier. Yeah, 11 hours earlier, Aaron. Come on, dude. And I used to always mess with it. That was always the recurring joke. Oh, I had a bagel last Tuesday. It's okay. It was always, I had a bagel earlier. I was like, she's the best, though.
I had a leaf for lunch. I'm good.
Yeah.
So
I was like, oh, it's okay. I had a bagel earlier. Yeah, it was 11 hours, Aaron. Let's have some dinner. I want to have dinner. Can you not just watch me?
In my 20s, I was all on the low fat train, and I would have my lunch, or actually, no, my breakfast would be non-fat raspberry mocha, a bagel, because that's fat-free, with fat-free cream cheese on it, and a non-fat sugar-free Yoplait yogurt.
That sounds horrible.
That was lunch.
I don't even think she was unhealthy. I just think she didn't eat a lot. She wasn't hungry. I don't think she was even trying to be unhealthy. But me, I'm like, come on, Aaron, let's go get dinner. She's the best.
Genetically, some people, have that naturally lean body. So when I said that women aren't naturally meant to have a six-pack, some women do have that naturally, just genetically. Yeah. But you need to look at the rest of your family. If nobody else has a six-pack on a woman in your family, likely that's unrealistic to expect your body to be able to maintain that. But also true of men, Simon. So I did a project.
Not true. I can get there. Give me time.
In grad school, though, talking about how body ideals even for men have changed. And you look back in the 50s and 60s, of the superstar men and, who were the heartthrobs back then, and none of them had six packs. No. It's also not a natural, healthy state of, how much fat a man should have on the body to actually have a six pack being exposed as well. For most men, that's also an unrealistic body ideal to try to attain.
Maybe they can airbrush one on. You think? Is that?
They have those. It's like a plastic template you can put on there. You can do a spray tan over it, and it makes it look like you have a six pack.
Yeah, right. Like in the movie 300, where they computer digitized. Like they had like 12 packs. Like I don't think you have I don't think there's that many obliques, bro. Like they'd have like a centipede pack. Like I don't think.
A centipede pack. That just looks like you have hair across there, right?
Well, they did that in the movie 300 where these dudes are just like crazy ripped. They went in, I mean, they were in shape, don't get me wrong, but they went in after like post-production and added muscles and like.
Oh my gosh, that's cool.
Yeah. You just gotta forget the diet, you just need post-production.
Right. That's what all the airbrushing is, yeah.
You can fix it in post.
Total tangent, but I listened to I think it's on Netflix, there's some series about like pop music, and there's one episode where they talk about auto-tune and basically how every single song out there, once they figured out auto-tune, everyone is. So we know the Kanye West and Cher song where it's like very, very obvious that it's been auto-tuned, but also every single one has been auto-tuned, and that's why most people sound terrible live, is because they don't sound like they sound on there.
Lip sync live and the record starts skipping and they're like, so funny.
Absolutely. So
okay.
That wraps up this one. You want to? I changed our outline for you to ask me what's up next week.
What's up next week? Keto Carol Live. That's
so great. Next week we're going to talk about how do you stay keto when you're craving crunchy foods. This was by popular request by one of the co-hosts of this show. When you crave crunchy, what does it mean? How do you stay keto when you crave crunchy?
Sometimes I'm a crunchy craver.
What was it? Keto Kaufman craving crunchy.
Keto Kaufman crunchy craver. Picked a pack of pickled peppers.
Okay, it's summer in Seattle, so you gotta actually pick the pickled peppers. Well, anyways, whatever. Well, okay. Thank you everyone for watching today, because we talked about exactly what to do when you stop losing weight. Great info. Go back and listen. Share with your friends. I think I did a great job. Simon cued me in on the other thing that
you did a great job. Carol, let's be honest. You did a great job. You're doing wonderful. You're saving lives.
So did you, my fan.
Yes. Only because I live up to you. Only because I try to live up to you and the example you set. Thank you, Carol.
Oh, try my best here. So I'm going to go read up on Reverend Sun Myung Moon.
Yeah.
And his 16 children now. So
we need to do arranged marriage. I think people would really be into that.
We need some volunteers, and
I think we need to bring it back. We need to bring it back to arranged marriage times, like where we join our houses.
Bring it back.
Join our houses in marriage.
They say it can be very effective. You just commit, and when you know there's no way out, then the mind's pretty. And then you get your head chopped off if you disobey your parents in the wedding. You know. Okay.
Like old Europe, whatever. Like, we will join our houses. I don't want to. Off with their head. Like, okay.
Now we know the real
I get it. I think I want to.
The real reason Simon's never been married is because he's afraid of his parents beheading him.
Nobody wants to join my house or whatever. All right, Keto Carol Live. I will see you next week.
All right, Keto Kaufman. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Share with your friends if you love this episode. Come back again next week. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.